May 4, 2010. A 38-year-old woman walks toward her office in Edinburgh, Scotland. 20 meters from the door. Captured on CCTV at 8:54 in the morning. In 17 seconds, she should walk through that door. She never arrives. She vanishes. In the heart of Edinburgh. Surrounded by cameras, morning commuters, witnesses. One moment she exists. The next she's gone. This is Suzanne Pilley. But here's the twist. While police search for Suzanne, a man who knew her very well is vacationing with his girlfriend. Acting normal, relaxed, happy, as if nothing happened. This is the story of how Scotland convicted a man of murder with nothing but circumstantial evidence, and how 7 jurors thought they got it completely wrong. Suzanne Pilley worked as a bookkeeper at Infrastructure Managers Limited. Routine job. Reliable person. On May 4th, she texted her parents at 8:30 saying she was heading to work. That was the last time anyone heard from her. Cameras caught her leaving Sainsbury's at 8:51. Another camera at 8:54 on North St. David Street, 20 meters from her office. Then, nothing. She disappeared in broad daylight in a busy city center. By 9 o'clock, her colleagues noticed. Suzanne was never late. They called. No answer. By afternoon, they contacted her parents. That evening, police received a missing person report. And one name kept appearing in witness statements. A colleague. A man who had an obsessive relationship with Suzanne. His name was David Gilroy. David Gilroy was married with children. He and Suzanne had an on and off affair that colleagues knew nothing about. But this wasn't just an affair. In the month before Suzanne vanished, David sent her over 400 text messages. More than 50 texts a day. Every single day. By early 2010, Suzanne wanted out. She was seeing someone else. Trying to move on. On May 3rd, the day before she disappeared, David sent her 15 texts and a voicemail. Then his messages stopped. Completely. The man who texted her 50 times a day went silent. 2 days later, police interviewed him. He admitted the affair, but claimed it ended in December 2009. Then detectives noticed something. Fresh scratches on his hands. Marks on his face, chest, wrists. Defensive injuries. And someone had tried to cover them with makeup. A forensic pathologist said the curved scratches could have been caused by fingernails during a struggle, consistent with strangulation attempts. Police reconstructed David's movements using CCTV from 250 locations. On May 5th, the day after Suzanne vanished, David claimed he had a work appointment in Loch Gilphead, 90 miles away. The normal journey? 5 hours total. David's journey? 9 hours. 4 unexplained hours. And his phone was pinging off cell towers in Glencroe, one of Scotland's most remote areas. Dense forest. Massive mountains. Perfect for hiding a body. A witness saw a silver car matching David's Vauxhall Vectra on a remote forest track in Glencroe that day. When police examined his car, they found vegetative matter on the undercarriage and 3 fractured coil springs, damage from driving on rough terrain with heavy weight. Then cadaver dogs alerted to 2 locations, the boot of David's car and the basement of their office building on Thistle Street. The theory? David killed Suzanne in the office basement, hid her body, went home to get his car, attended his daughter's school presentation, took his wife to dinner, all while Suzanne lay dead. Then the next day, he drove her body to the Highlands and disposed of it. 2 weeks later, David reported a burglary. Someone broke in while he slept and stole only his phone and laptop. Just the 2 devices that contained all his obsessive messages to Suzanne. Just those 2 items. Nothing else. The trial began in February 2012. The challenge? Prove murder without a body. It's extraordinarily rare. But prosecutors had a mountain of circumstantial evidence. The lies about when their relationship ended. The injuries covered with makeup. The 4 unexplained hours in a remote forest. The convenient burglary. The cadaver dog alerts. The complete cessation of contact with everyone Suzanne knew. No bank activity, no phone calls, no social media, nothing. The defense argued it was all circumstantial. No body means no proof of death. No DNA in the car or basement. The scratches could be from gardening. The phone pings just show he was in Argyll for work. The 4 hours? He took scenic routes, made stops. The jury deliberated for 2.5 days. This wasn't easy. This wasn't unanimous. On March 15, 2012, by majority verdict, 8-7, David Gilroy was found guilty of murdering Suzanne Pilley. Life imprisonment with 18 years minimum. But 7 jurors voted not guilty. 7 people looked at the exact same evidence and reached the opposite conclusion. David Gilroy maintains his innocence. His family believes he's innocent. They've campaigned for years, demanding a fresh investigation. They argue the murder could only have occurred in a 5 to 7 minute window when CCTV shows David elsewhere. They point to CCTV gaps and alternative theories. Scotland's legal system is unique. Unlike most jurisdictions, Scotland offers 3 verdicts: guilty, not guilty, and not proven. That third option exists for cases where you suspect guilt but can't prove it beyond reasonable doubt. The jury didn't use not proven. They convicted him. But it was close. 8-7. Police still search Argyll Forest periodically. In October 2024, 14 years later, BBC Crime Watch ran a fresh appeal. Investigators believe Suzanne's body is somewhere in the Rest and Be Thankful area. 5 square miles of rugged terrain. Somewhere no one has looked in exactly the right place. Suzanne's father died in February 2019 without ever learning what happened to his daughter. Her mother and sister have lived in limbo for 14 years. No funeral, no closure, no body to bury. The case inspired proposed legislation, Suzanne's Law. The idea? Killers who refuse to disclose where victims are buried never get parole. But what if Gilroy really is innocent? Then keeping him imprisoned for refusing information he doesn't have is itself an injustice. There are only 2 possibilities. Either David Gilroy murdered Suzanne, disposed of her body brilliantly, and has maintained innocence for over a decade while torturing her family. Or an innocent man sits in prison for a murder he didn't commit because 7 jurors weren't enough to save him. Here's what we know. Suzanne walked toward her office and vanished. David lied about their relationship. He had defensive injuries covered with makeup. He spent 4 unexplained hours in a remote forest. His phone and laptop conveniently disappeared. Cadaver dogs alerted to his car and the office basement. But there's no body, no DNA, no witnesses, no confession, just circumstantial evidence. Mountains of it, pointing like arrows to one conclusion. And 7 jurors said it wasn't enough. 7 people looked at everything and couldn't convict. In some jurisdictions, that alone would mean freedom. In Scotland, 8 voices outweighed 7. Suzanne Pilley was 38 years old, reliable, kind, looking for love. She made the mistake of having an affair with someone who couldn't let go. And somewhere in the Scottish Highlands, possibly in Glencroe, possibly in Argyll Forest, possibly somewhere no one has considered, Suzanne rests. The earth covers her. The secrets keep her. David Gilroy is eligible for parole in 2030. He maintains his innocence. He's tried multiple times to overturn his conviction. Every attempt has failed. He could walk free or die in prison, never revealing the truth. So did David Gilroy murder Suzanne Pilley? Did Scotland's justice system get it right? Or did circumstantial evidence, bad luck, and confirmation bias convict an innocent man? The truth is we may never know with absolute certainty unless he confesses, unless Suzanne's body is found. Until then, we're left with reasonable doubt that 8 jurors pushed past and 7 jurors couldn't. This is a conviction built entirely on inference, on absence rather than presence, on what can't be explained rather than what can be proven. Is that justice? For 8 jurors, yes. For 7 jurors, no. The only certainty is that Suzanne Pilley is gone. And somewhere, someone knows exactly what happened in those 20 meters between the last camera and her office door. Someone knows where she is. Someone knows the truth. The question is, will they ever tell? If this case left you questioning everything about criminal justice, hit subscribe. We dive deep into cases that challenge our assumptions, blur the lines between certainty and doubt, and force us to confront how fragile justice really is. Until next time, remember the victims. Remember Suzanne. Behind every controversial verdict, there's a real person whose life was taken, and a family searching for answers they may never receive. Because sometimes, in the darkest cases, the only thing we're left with is questions, and the unbearable weight of not knowing.